Welcome to the Oli and Danny Podcast. We're your hosts, a husband and wife team with 23 years of marriage, 2 amazing kids, and plenty of stories and wisdom to share. Every day we're here with fresh episodes tackling your letters and emails about love, relationships, and family life. From tough decisions to heartfelt dilemmas, we bring honest advice, relatable stories, and a touch of humor to help you navigate it all. So whether you're on a morning commute, taking a break, or winding down after a long day, tune in for your daily dose of real issues and real solutions. This is the Oli and Danny Podcast, where love, laughter, and life lessons come together. Welcome to the episode.
Welcome to another episode of the Oli and Danny Podcast. Today we have another couple in trouble.
So today our letter says, "Dear Oli and Danny, I'm really struggling in my relationship right now and I'm not sure what to do. My boyfriend and I have been together for 4 years and we've always been solid, but over the last year it feels like I'm slowly losing him to his job. He's always been ambitious, which I admired, but now it's like work is the only thing that matters. He's constantly working late, going to networking events or answering emails even when we're supposed to be spending time together. I get it, he wants to succeed and he keeps saying he's doing this for us, but honestly I don't feel like part of the us he's talking about anymore. I've tried bringing it up, but every time I do he brushes it off and says I'll slow down once I hit my goals, or this is temporary. But it's not temporary. It's been over a year of me feeling like I'm always waiting for him to come back to the relationship. I love him, but I also feel lonely. I miss when we'd actually talk or plan things together, and I'm scared that if this keeps going, we're going to drift too far apart to fix it. How do I make him see how this is affecting us without him feeling like I'm asking him to choose between me and his career?"
So from what I can see, this is partly a problem of not understanding each other's goals. So if your boyfriend is working a lot, is it because he has a specific goal that's independent from yours, or does he have a shared goal that he's working towards for your sake? This is probably some important context to kind of unpack, largely from your side, because if you understand why he's spending so much time at work, well, it might make a lot of sense to you. So for me, I would say definitely start with some open conversation. I know it's a cliche. We say it all the time on this podcast. Have an open and honest conversation about how you feel, but also be realistic about the situation. If, for example, you've got 10 car payments to make, then it might explain why he's spending so much time. But of course, if that's not the case, I don't have context, then it would certainly require an open conversation. So just be aware of the context in which all of this is happening. Again, from his side, you might want to understand, has something fundamentally changed with his job? So is it that he's got more responsibility, or is it that he's had a new job, or is it the same job but he's spending more time at work? If this is the case, it could be a bit of a red flag, because it could mean that something else is going on at work that you don't know about. So, or it might not even be work. That might be something to consider. But again, that's a different story altogether, and it can only come from inquiry on your part and just trying to find out what are the facts of the situation. So for me, that would be a good start, is to understand the context in which all of this has transpired.
So financial freedom is really important, and increasingly it's something that preoccupies a lot of people with rising costs in the world, the need to think more carefully about how we provide for our future selves. Financial freedom and financial success have become incredibly important, and him pursuing that in itself, there's nothing wrong with that, unless, like Dad said, the context is completely different and doesn't require that at all. If you guys are financially comfortable, have been from the beginning, then I suppose there would be, no need for him to be working extra hours or trying to figure out how to network and, essentially make more money. But if it is the case that you have shared goals, shared a life that you plan to build together, it could be that he wants to give you the security of knowing that once you get past a certain stage in your relationship where you're settled, maybe marriage is on the cards, maybe kids, I don't know, but if that is the case, that those things are on the cards, he may just want to be able to provide some security for when that time comes. Without a more full context, we won't be able to give you a conclusive sort of idea of what we think might be going on. It could be very broad. But if none of that is an issue and he's decided that he wants to do work more than do the relationship, then I would say a good course of action for you, especially if, and it sounds to me like one of your love languages is time spent. You seem to care a lot about that. If that's not being fulfilled, then I would definitely say to you, a good course of action for you would be to think about your own growth as an individual. Think about what your own goals are, what you would want to achieve for yourself. And I'd say focus on some personal development for yourself. So find something that you could really engage with in terms of your own growth and chart that course. Set out on that path of discovery about, what you could do for yourself that you could find fulfilling as an individual. Don't worry too much right now about, whether or when he comes back to the relationship. I know it's sort of counterproductive. It can seem counterproductive me saying that now, because obviously I'm not in the situation you are and you have all the feelings that accompany that. But try somehow to compartmentalize. Prioritize yourself. If it is the case that there really is no need or no overarching excessive need for him to be trying so hard to gain this financial freedom, then I'd say prioritize yourself, self-development, your own goals, your own ambitions. Focus on those for a little bit, because people do make time for the things they care about. And if he does care enough, he will come back to the relationship. Maybe he just needs the time and the space to do that.
That's a really good point. I think it's important to evaluate yourself and say, am I upset that my boyfriend's spending more time at work? And bearing in mind, I'm taking the benign approach here that there's nothing untoward happening at work. But taking that point on board, if you're not asking yourself, is it because I'm not doing much myself? Is that the reason why I'm feeling that someone else is working more relative and not spending all their time with me? Sometimes that is an issue. So again, evaluate that and really, really sort of contextualize around it. The other option is discussing long-term solutions. So I'm assuming here that, like I said, there's nothing untoward going on at work. It's important maybe to talk about, okay, how do we fix this? Just in case, he really needs to do this job. There's a legitimate reason why he's spending all this time. How can we straddle some kind of middle ground? Is it that when you are not working, those periods when he's not working, he's going to be able to spend a lot more time with you? Or does he need a holiday? It could be that he needs a holiday, but a longer one. And I know in this world's work environment, it might be difficult to secure those things, but I'm making the assumption that if he's spending so much time at work and this is really paying off, and essentially you guys are probably in a financially better off position, but if he's spending a lot of time at work and it's not rewarding, then it might also be a long-term solution is find something else to do. That should definitely be on the cards. So again, just have those open conversations about how to fix the problem.
A good thing to suggest when you do get to that open, honest conversation is to suggest a compromise. So a good way to maybe not make up for time lost, but to compromise in terms of his commitments to work and your need for time with him is to, like Dad was saying, if it's possible, take a bit of a longer break from work. Take a 2 or 3 week break off work and go away somewhere together where it's just the two of you. There won't be any distractions. There will be no need to go hang out with the boys or for you to go have a girls' night out or, whatever it is your routine is. Spend some quality time together. Take a bit of a break together. Go on a retreat. Have that time together and understand that when he comes back from that time away, it will be time for him to delve back into his work with all the intensity that he did before. But at the very least, you guys will have that period together, that extended period together away to look forward to in future.
There isn't a lot else we could add to this. This is a scenario that essentially revolves around having open conversations and essentially determining whether this is a relationship worth keeping based on maybe something else is going on. And I'm hoping that that's not the case. And if it's something more benign, it is essentially just talking about it and making those long-term plans to mitigate the issue. But that's all we have for you today. Again, don't forget to follow the channel on TikTok. We are on other platforms, Substack, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. So again, don't forget to follow and listen to us there. Till the next episode, adios.
Ciao guys, we'll see you in the next one.